Hi there! This video is all about Edgar Dale's cone of experience.
Before we proceed, may I ask you to please subscribe updated channel, the channel that discusses professional education subjects and current events.
A Chinese philosopher once said, "I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand." It's really true that a person learns better by practicing the concept being studied. This principle has something to do with Dale's cone of experience. What is Dale's cone of experience? Dale's cone of experience is a visual model that composed of 11 stages starting from concrete experiences at the bottom of the cone, then it becomes more and more abstract as it reaches the peak of the cone. Also, according to Dale, the arrangement in the cone is not based on its difficulty, but rather based on the abstraction and on the number of senses involved. The experiences in each stages can be mixed and are interrelated that foster more meaningful learning. According to one principle in the selection and use of teaching strategies, the more senses that are involved in learning, the more and better the learning will be. But it doesn't mean that concrete experience is the only effective experience that educators should use in transferring knowledge to the learner.
To expand on each of the components, let us begin with the direct purposeful experiences. These are first-hand experiences which serve as the foundation of learning. In this level, more senses are used in order to build up the knowledge. Learning happens through actual hands-on experiences. This level explains and proves one of the principles in the selection and use of teaching strategies. The more senses that are involved in learning, the more and the better the learning will be. This level also proves that educational technology is not limited to the modern gadgets and software that are commercially available nowadays.
The next level would be the contrived experiences. In this level, representative models and mock-ups of reality are being used in order to provide an experience that is as close as reality. This level is very practical and it makes learning experience more accessible to the learner. In this stage, it provides more concrete experiences, even if as concrete as direct experiences. Dramatized experiences. In this level, learners can participate in a reconstructed experiences that could give them better understanding of the event or of a concept. Through dramatized experiences, learners become more familiar with the concept as they immerse themselves to the as-if situation.
Demonstrations. It is a visualized explanation of an important fact, idea, or process through the use of pictures, drawings, film, and other types of media in order to facilitate clear and effective learning. In study trips. This level extends the learning experience through excursions and visits on the different places that are not available inside the classroom. Through this level, the learning experience will not be limited to the classroom setting, but rather extended in a more complex environment.
The level of study trips is followed by exhibits. It is somewhat a combination of some of the first levels in a cone. Exhibits are a combination of several mock-ups and models. Most of the time, exhibits are experiences that is for your eyes only, but some exhibits include sensory experiences, which could be related to direct purposeful experiences. In this level, meanings, ideas are presented to the learners in a more abstract manner. Next levels will be the level of television and motion pictures, still pictures, recordings, and radio. I decided to combine these two stages since it is related to one another. Because of the rapid development of the modern technology, a lot of people believe that educational technology is limited to these stages. They are not aware that these stages are only a small portion of EdTech.
The last two levels would be the visual symbolic and verbal symbolic. These two levels are the most complex and abstract among all the components of the code of experience. In the visual symbolic level, charts, maps, graphs, and diagrams are used for abstract representations. On the other hand, the verbal symbolic level does not involve visual representation or clues to their meanings.
People generally remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% what they see and hear, 70% what they say and write, and 90% of what they do as they perform tasks. Let us see the learning outcomes for every component. The level of direct purposeful experiences, contrived experiences, dramatized experiences, they're able to analyze, design, create, and evaluate. For the level of demonstration, field trips exhibit, they are able to demonstrate, apply, and practice. For the level of educational televisions, motion pictures, still pictures, visual and verbal symbols, they're able to define, describe, list, and explain.
After going through the different components of cone of experience, it could be said that in facilitating learning, we can use a variety of materials and medium in order to maximize the learning experience. One medium is not enough. Thus, if we can take advantage of the other media, there's nothing wrong with trying to combine several medium for as long as it could benefit the learners. Also, through the levels provided by the cone of experience, it could be said that concrete experiences must be provided first in order to support abstract learning.
How can teachers use audiovisual materials to promote learning that persists? How can audiovisual materials enable students to enjoy learning through vicarious experience? These were two of the many important research and development questions addressed by an extraordinary educational technology pioneer, Edgar Dale.
So today we will be studying the concept of Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
This is the overview of our discussion. We will talk about the short background of the thinker, Edgar Dale, the concept of the cone of experience and its application.
Edgar Dale, born in 1900s at the dawn of a new millennium. Edgar Dale's work continues to influence educational technologists in the 21st century. Dale were working on the family farm and later as a teacher in a small rural school. Dale earned both his bachelor's and master's degree from the University of North Dakota, partially through correspondence courses. In 1929, he completed a PhD at the University of Chicago and then joined the Eastman Kodak Company, where he collaborated on some of the earliest studies of learning from film. Interestingly, although many of these early studies were experimental ones designed to compare learning from film with other media, Dale later expressed disdain for such studies.
This is the illustration of Dale's experience, the cone of experience, as a visual model, a pictorial device that presents bands of experience arranged according to degree of abstraction and not a degree of difficulty. This model incorporates several theories related to instructional design and learning processes. This was introduced by Edgar Dale in the year 1946 in his textbooks in audiovisual methods in learning. He made minor modification of the visual and the second edition in the year 1954, changing dramatic participation to dramatized experience in adding television. During the year 1960s, Edgar Dale theorized that learners retain more information by what they do as opposed to what it is current read or absorb. His research of the cone of experience today, its learning by doing has become known as experiential learning or action learning.
Now, how can teachers use the cone of experience? According to Dale's research, the least effective method at the top involves learning from information presented through verbal symbols. Example of this is spoken words. And moving toward the pinnacle of the cone from direct purposeful experiences to verbal symbols, the degree of abstraction gradually increases. As a result, learners become spectators rather than participants. Seals 1997. The bottom of the cone represented purposeful experience that is seen, handled, tasted, touched, felt, and smelled. Dale 1954. P42. By contrast, at the top of the cone, verbal symbols, i.e. words and messages, are highly abstract. They do not have physical resemblance to the objects or ideas. As Dale 1969 wrote, the word horse as we write is does not look like a horse, or sound like a horse, or feel like a horse. P 127.
The most effective method at the bottom involves direct, purposeful learning experiences, such as hands-on or field experience. Direct, purposeful learning represents reality or the closest to everyday life. Dale 1969 explained that the broad base of the cone illustrated the importance of the direct experience for effective communication and learning. Especially for young children, real and concrete experiences are necessary to provide the foundation of their permanent learning. The historical importance of Dale's cone rests in its attempt to relate media to psychological theory. Seals 1997. The cone has shaped various sets of media selection guidelines ever since. For example, influenced by Dale, Briggs 1972 delineated general principles for media selection according to the age of learners, the type of the learners, and the type of the task.
In 1872, Dale wrote that to experience an event is to live through it, to participate in it, to incorporate it, and to continue to use it. To experience is to test, to try out. It means to be a concerned participant, not a half-attentive observer. Thus, effective learning environments should be filled with rich and memorable experiences where students can see, hear, taste, touch, and try. Dale's 1969 articulated that the characteristics of rich experiences in a rich experience. Students are immersed in it and use their eyes, ears, noses, mouths, and hands to explore the experience. Students have a chance to discover new experiences and new awareness of them. Students have emotionally rewarding experiences that will motivate them for learning throughout their lives. Students have chances to practice their past experiences and combine them to create new experiences. Students have a sense of personal achievement and students can develop their own dynamic experiences. Thank you for listening and I hope you understand the concept and application of Dale's cone of experience.